Good morning, gun nuts, and welcome to the Reloading Press. Before we jump right into the Reloaders Network weekly recap, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about our channel update. As I'm sure you can tell, we've had a logo change, we've had a name change. Maybe you haven't noticed this, but we have started a Facebook page and an Instagram account. In addition, we're also moving our backup video hosting to YouTube. Along with the move to YouTube, we've also been adding back the videos that YouTube's policy made us unlist. So if you start in with maybe the tourist project, you'll notice there's a couple videos missing. In the Henry project, there's one video that's quite truncated, things like that, to fit with the YouTube policy. Well, on YouTube, those videos will be all available and they'll all be running. In addition to them being on YouTube, the primary source for this stuff, guys, I really think is the Reloaders Network. So all this stuff is going to be uploaded onto the Reloaders Network as well. Moving forward, I want the Reloading Press to be a little bit more active in social media. I'd like to make daily or every other day or so posts on Instagram as well as Facebook, and we're going to be a little bit more active in the Reloaders Network. And what I mean by a little bit more active in the Reloaders Network is that videos are going to be posted a day or two in advance on the Reloaders Network before they're actually listed publicly on YouTube and YouTube. So if you'd like to get content from me that's a little bit before everybody else, that's where it's going to be available. However, the Reloaders Network Weekly Recap is always going to be available on YouTube and YouTube as soon as I get it done. For those of you guys that have watched on BitChute, I appreciate the support. I'm going to pull out of BitChute. I know that there's a lot of people talking about putting their work on multiple platforms, and I can appreciate that. However, I have probably 2 to 3 videos a week that I'm trying to get onto online. And it's just really, it takes a lot of time to get that done. So I'd really like to just stick with 2 channels, which is going to be the YouTube channel and the YouTube channel. Loads of Bacon over in the Reloaders Network has been working on creating a merchandise system for us content creators that we can utilize and access. So moving forward, expect to see that happen. Where we'll have some, with our new logo and things like that, maybe some tumblers or t-shirts or whatever. We'll see how it goes. I'd really like to have some stickers and things built as well. Maybe even a patch. So those are some of the things moving forward. I want to know your feedback. Go ahead, after you get done smashing the like button, go down in the comment section. Tell me what you would like me to see, or like to see the Reloading Press get involved in. I'm really moving forward. I'm really trying to stick with biting off what I can chew. I don't want to get involved in too many things. For instance, Twitter. I don't really want to get involved in Twitter because it requires almost constant attention to keep up with and to keep it going, and I don't have that. My job, typically, as you guys have known in the past, my job takes up a considerable amount of my time, and I also allocate very, very specific time to my girlfriend and things like that that I don't encroach on. So Twitter's probably out of the window, but other things will be fine. I also want to talk to you about the Reloaders Network. We just had the biggest day as far as views in the Reloaders Network history this Saturday, and we also, I believe we had 12 separate posts come up. I think I was 3 or 4 of them that I had. Guys, go over there and check it out. We've got 34, 35 content creators now. We've got like 450 people on Slack that are driving this, and it's really starting to take off. If you want to get in on the floor level on something and kind of see it grow and appreciate it in that way, I think now's the time, guys. If you've had a little bit of trouble getting on in the past on the website and actually operate it, some of that's been changed. We've been upgrading, or Bacon's been upgrading the site, making it better, making it more user-friendly. We were just talking about possibly doing a user instructional video. Go ahead and take another look if you have and you've had a little bit of trouble. Go ahead and take another look. I really think that you'll be pleasantly surprised. Things are getting better every day. He's moving things around, making the site look better, making it function better. So keep coming back to that site if you can. And we have more and more content. We have some very large content creators now that are coming on board and that are putting their posts on there and doing written posts as well. So if you're looking for maybe a little bit more in-depth information, this is another place to go. Speaking of that, let's get right into it. Tim over the PC Bullet Empire he tests some different bullets and loads with a Star BM, and he has a Lyman truncated cone, 120, I think he called it 121 grains, but I think it's 120 grain mold. That really showed just how accurate sometimes you can be with a certain bullet, and then you look at other bullets that he's using and they're not as accurate even if the load is similar. So even at a short distance with a handgun, you can see dramatic changes depending on bullet shape and design. So I think that's a really good video for you to go ahead and take a jump on, or go take a look at. Bolt Action Reloading gives a channel update and is planning on starting an interesting load development series using kind of a lot of different interesting powders that I don't typically use. Like Vitavori is not a powder I've ever really messed with. Norma powder, even though I know some of that is from another line. But he's using some different powders and stuff, so take a look at his video. I think it's a 6.5 Creedmoor that he's moving into. If you're looking to move into a 6.5 Creedmoor and you're looking to use possibly different types of powders than the normal, IMR and Alliant, this will be a series that'll help you out for sure. Full Load Talco helps disassemble a minivan in kind of an imaginative and very fun way. So if you're looking for a fun video, something to watch and just get a laugh out of, go check him out. It's I enjoyed that quite a bit. OP25TT FD writes up a great piece on the Reloaders Network. Now this isn't a video. He has a video embedded in it, but I don't think the video is his. But this piece is about powder, primer, and ammo storage. He's a fireman, and he's explaining to you actually what the codes are. So for us reloaders, we tend to have an idea of the code or what we think the code might be. This is coming right from the horse's mouth. So if you have a fire in the house or something like that, not only could this be an insurance issue, but there might also be a liability issue. So definitely take a look at that post. Like I said, it's on the Reloaders Network. You can search his name if you want to find it specifically. This is really important, I think, for all of us to kind of know exactly what we're supposed to do or how we're supposed to handle our powders. But this is a federal code. Your state might have individual things that are different. Treetop Flyer shows us that dirty, wet tumbling pins can make a dramatic difference in how your brass turns out when you wet tumble. I was really, really surprised by this. I had noticed that my brass had gotten, that wasn't necessarily as shiny and clean as it used to be after a wet tumbling, but I just kind of chalked that up to maybe I'm doing it faster, or maybe I'm using less or more Dawn, because I'm not like Baker specific, guys. I'm just like, yeah, that looks good. Well, he shows us that, having dirty pins, and my water that comes out of my wet tumbling is just gross. So having dirty pins makes a dramatic difference. So that's one thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to follow his advice, and I'm going to wash my pins and see if that makes the difference that it looks like it makes for him. Ozark Spirit has gotten awful quiet, and he gives you a video explaining exactly what's going on. He got a new item in, a very quieting item, and it's just beautiful. Just take a look at it. I like seeing good craftsmanship, and the thing he finally got in is really, really good craftsmanship. Western Desert Shooter begins load development on his 7mm WSM. He does kind of like a short reloading video, kind of with the first process, or the first start, or with the start of the process. Recommend checking that out and following that through. WSM is a great, great cartridge. It doesn't have a lot of information on it now, but I think that's going to grow in the future, especially as the long distance shooting becomes more and more and more prevalent, or more well known, or becomes more of a hobby amongst us reloaders and shooters. Anyway, Johnny's reloading bench kind of bounces back this week from his really rough past week. And he tests some 175 grain Sierra Match Kings with IMR 4064 against some factory federal rounds. And he does this both with non-suppressed and suppressed. So it's a really good test to show you, hey, here's what I'm getting factory, here's what I'm getting with a WAG reload. And I don't mean WAG in that like he just pulled this out of air, but it's not a road that he's really he hasn't worked this up already. So this is going through the load development process and showing you just how getting closer to factory type ballistics and stuff help. It's a really, really good video. It's pretty short too, I think. Take a look at that, and you can also see very dramatically the difference between suppressed and non-suppressed, even though his point of impact doesn't change as dramatically as I thought it would. Batjack JW goes over his entire snubby collection, which is very, very impressive, and I think he did this intentionally to make people like me super jealous. I don't own a snubby, and I've always wanted one. And I don't mean just one, like there's different ones that I want as well. I don't know why I think they're neat. I actually don't even really enjoy shooting them all that much, but I do want them. And maybe it has something to do with kind of that movie allure to it, because he talks about that in that video. Kind of, he gives you like an explanation or a little bit of backstory on each and every gun. And some of it is movie inspired, some of it's just inspired because it was, a family member or something gave it to him. Speaking of snub nose or short barrel, Slim Cowboy, he's a channel I just started following and just started watching. It's amazing how many of these channels that you find over time. He's a very popular channel. I just hadn't stumbled across it, and I think I got to it through, I'm sure, Scotsman's circle that I've started to get involved in. But he finally gets some good news from Smith & Wesson about his Model 69. That is a really interesting gun. It's a 44 mag. I don't know if I'd call it a snub nose. I think it's a 2 3/4 inch barrel. I think it's on an L frame. An L frame is perfect. I have relatively small mitts, and an N frame is not a comfortable gun for me to shoot. So having a 44 and an L frame really would fit. I wouldn't really be interested in shooting full house 44 mags through it. I don't have bear running around. But shooting like hot 44 specials or moderate load 44 mags really sound like a good time. So that's a gun I'm really interested to see how it goes. I've heard so many, I hate to say this, but so many bad things about new Smith & Wessons. It's really disheartening. It's such a great company. It has such a great pedigree. They make such great products. Get your quality control under in hand. If they fixed the barrel clocking issues, supposedly they fixed the rifling issues that they were having. Once they get everything back running, I am really looking forward to being able to buy a couple, because that's one that I would really want. There might be also some other 44s that I like there, but anyway. Uncle Jim refurbishes some old dies and kind of reminds us to take care of our equipment so that it'll take care of us for decades to come. It was kind of surprising to me to see how well those old dies cleaned up. And it wasn't because he had neglected them, it was because he bought them and they were, prior neglect. But it shows how well that sometimes, equipment will clean up that you go buy from an estate sale or you find it at an auction. But it reminds me that this stuff lasts so long. We can pass this on to our kids, things like that. So take care of your equipment. 243 Outdoors just posted on the Reloaders Network, I think it might be on his channel, a coffee chat talking about his trip to Utah for the Long Range Shooters of Utah Milk Jug Challenge. And I'm telling you, if you guys have not seen these videos, they're great. He does an amazing job with a great rifle. It's brought up several times, not in his videos, but definitely around the Reloaders Network, that he was shooting a $400 rifle against people shooting with $1,000 pieces, and he hung right with them. And in fact, he kind of spanked everybody at 1,500 yards. So it's funny because there seems to be I've got a fair amount of a little bit of pride in the fact that one of our Reloaders Network members went out there and did well. He showed up really, really well. You can see the excitement in his face even just talking about it. So check out that video. I would also recommend going and checking out the videos that he posted about the shoot. Duelist 1954. I don't think he's part of the Reloaders Network, but I've been watching his videos for a long time. And he just released a video on a 1907 Savage pocket pistol. I think his is a 32 auto. I really love this gun. I've always thought form, it is beautiful. It has a neat history in that they made a 45 version of it. Anyway, he tells some of that history. I don't want to get into it and steal his thunder. But he also talks about it has a little bit of history even with the Old West, and he talks about that. My dad has one of these, and his has been refinished. So it's this really gorgeous blue. I mean, I don't know when it was refinished or who did it, but they did an amazing job. It's like this mirror blue, and I've always kind of had the hots for this gun for whatever reason, and to see somebody else do a review on one, and it's kind of a rare piece, was kind of nice. So I enjoyed watching that video. Check out Duelist 1954. He does a lot of really cool videos. He's got a swinging setup, a swinging steel setup where he shoots. So he does some really interesting shoots as well as reviews and things like that. But guys, I appreciate you hanging with me. I know this is a long one. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing your feedback on channel changes and what you would like to see. I also look forward to seeing you on the Reloaders Network. Check us out on Slack. I appreciate it. And until next time, stay safe, have fun. I'll see you when I see you. Later.